It was a good trip for us in terms of the the weekend, coming out of camp, traveling for the first time. Guys handled themselves really, really well. We were prepared, really felt good about our heat plan and how our guys responded to that. However, it was a really slow start. They took the ball and went down, long drive and scored. We turned around with a 3-and-out and then punted, and they had a 30-yard punt return. It's just not how we envisioned the game starting. And then in the second half, we turned the ball over going in, and it was a minus 10-point swing. So at halftime, being down 13-7, just not what we wanted to be. But so the story of the game for me was just our response to that. Our guys regrouped. I thought brought some energy and some passion. Had an outstanding third quarter. Scored, I think, 17 points. Defense had 3-and-outs, and special teams came through. And then our finish was not perfect, but good enough. So tons to work on, but just really proud of the response from halftime on.
The two student athletes you brought today, one a wide receiver, one a linebacker. We'll have to first start with Dylan on him coming in, having 2 touchdown catches in the week 1 opener. But what have you so far seen out of him and his growth and development?
Well, we'll expect 3 touchdowns in the opener next year because he had 1 in his first collegiate start and first collegiate game last year at Monmouth, and then 2 on Saturday. But he played as a true freshman and played really, really well. He's been in the off season, been in the program for an entire year now. So we expect big things from him. We think he's super talented and made of all the right things.
And then Kobie on the other side, last year played some for you, but this time gets the starting nod, comes away with 12 stops in the opener. What were you able to see and grade him out as you watched the tape out?
Well, in his first game here at Eastern Michigan, too, last year against Monmouth, he had a great game. And I think you had him in here for the press conference the Monday after. With Kyle and Jalen graduating, those are 2 seniors, been in the program for 4 and 5 years. We really needed someone to step up and take a leadership role, to take over our defense and our linebacker room. And Kobie has done that and has been that, and really played well on Saturday. And even though it's his first time really taking over, it doesn't feel that way. So I think he's going to have an outstanding year.
Kobie, if you want to join us first, we'll open up for some questions. Don?
Kobie, just talk about the defense as a whole. Really, in that first half, Coastal Carolina had great tempo. They did a good job of moving the ball. What did you guys have to do, adjustment-wise, to adjust to that so you could have a better second half?
It wasn't really adjustments. I think, like Coach said, we just had a slow start, and then we also had 9 first-time starters. Like, people probably just had nerves, first-game jitters. Had to get out the way early. They threw some stuff at us early, but really we just came back, regrouped, calmed down, focused up for the second half, and finished real good.
Is it a confidence builder for your team that you guys can play a first half the way you did, respond the way you did, knowing that you don't always have to get off to a fast start to beat other teams?
Definitely boosts our confidence, but we always want to get off to a good start, always want to start fast, finish strong, but also it was good to see us respond and have a good second half.
Have you seen any tape yet on Kentucky, and if so, what are your thoughts going into this Saturday?
It's SEC. There are obviously some freaks on the team. They're a great team, and Saturday we'll come to play. We'll have a game plan. They'll have a game plan. Saturday's going to be a dogfight.
Do you guys embrace the underdog role?
Of course. It's a factory. This is what we do.
You guys generate 4 turnovers defensively, 4 interceptions. I mean, that's a great benchmark, certainly, for the start of the season. How do you guys build on that? Not just on turnovers, but how do you build on this defensive performance?
Just keep getting better. Like you said, 4 turnovers. We have a big statement on taking the ball away. We practice it every single day. We'll obviously try and improve on that as much as we can. We're +3, I think, on the game. So if we can stay +3 for the rest of the season, we'll be one of the top teams in the country. And also just continue to build confidence, continue to grow as a defense, and just continue to play and get better and get better.
Alex?
Yeah, Kobie, Coach talked about it and Tom alluded to it too, but on the first 2 drives, CCU scored pretty quickly, but after that, in the next 5 drives, you guys forced 3 interceptions, a punt, and they got a field goal on one of those, but 4 out of those 5 drives, you stopped Coastal a lot of people obviously expect halftime adjustments, but what is it about Coach Nethery and your defense as a whole that allows you to adjust in quarter, in game action that leads to such good success?
The thing about Coach Nethery, he's always taking notes and always trying to better like within plays. Like anytime we come to the bench, we're on the sideline taking notes, making adjustments from the start. Coach Frakes is in the booth, Coach Needham's in the booth. They're making adjustments of their own. He's taking down notes for everything. We get in halftime, he has halftime notes. We got the hit chart. Anything to do to improve, like any time we can, he's going to try and improve, and he really does a great job of doing that.
And last week, Kentucky puts up 400-plus yards on another MAC opponent, Toledo. So what's going to be the biggest factor for you as a linebacker to kind of help captain the defense this week to hopefully contain them a little bit more?
Like you said, just be the captain, be a leader for the team, make sure the D-line's set, make sure the back end's confident, get the call, line up, just play good ball, make sure we have a solid game plan, know the game plan, and just play good football overall. Take the ball away and just play hard.
In the classroom, what's your major and kind of what's your plan after you get that diploma?
I'm a sport management major with a minor in marketing, and I'm thinking of being a sport agent, possibly going to law school, taking that path.
Anything else? All right. Dylan,
Thank you.
bring me off. Fire away.
Dylan, on that first touchdown in the corner of the end zone, it was hard to tell from a side perspective, but how tight a window was that throw that Glass put it in there, and did you know you were that close to the sidelines?
So Mike put that ball exactly where he needed to. I mean, everyone's probably seen it, but Mike's arm is unbelievable, and he's a great quarterback. And he put it in the only place, really, to keep it away from the defender, and the only place I could get it. And then I knew I was real close, but when I got up, I wasn't sure if I was in or not. Like, I knew I had got my foot down, but I wasn't sure if it was in bounds. And I saw the ref throw his hands up, and I got a rush of excitement real quick.
You got off to a great start in the first game of the season. Have you set some personal benchmarks for yourself as far as receptions, yardage, touchdowns, any of that type of stuff?
Not really. Only thing I've really thought about, I want to have a 100-yard game. It's been a while since I've done that since high school, so that was something in high school I always wanted 100 yards a game, but now I just want to help the team win, and of course it's nice to have stats, but that's not really the main goal. So
It's hard to tell from a fan perspective how close this offense is to being at its best. Was Saturday its best, and if not, how much more room for growth is there on this offense?
Saturday was most definitely not our best. I think we have the potential to be one of the best offenses in the MAC for sure, and our 3 deep at receivers is unbelievable. I think we definitely have one of the best receiving corps in the MAC without a doubt, and like our potential is really so high. Like Coach said, we had a slow start, and I think our response was good. And if we just build on what we started this past Saturday, then we'll continue to get better.
What do you think your reason was for the slow start?
Honestly, I think kind of to piggyback off what Kobie said a little bit. There's a lot of first-time starters out there, and a lot of people that hadn't played, and maybe some first-game jitters and stuff like that. But you'll see that from time to time in a lot of teams. But that's over with. That's behind us. So I think we'll be all right.
Glass was 20 of 22, tremendous precision.
Yeah.
How much of that is Glass's arm? How much is that is you guys as a receiving core working together so long, and how much is that as an offensive line giving him time to do that?
To start with Mike, that's probably the best quarterback I've ever played with. He puts the ball right where it needs to be on time, and then to the receivers, looking the ball in, catching the ball, make sure we catch it before we make a move or look upfield. And then the O-line did a great job in their pro, and there was only 1 sack on the game, so they did a great job giving Mike time to let the ball go. So.
What was kind of the reaction of the offense after Van had the fumble towards the end of the first half? It was unfortunate that goes to the end zone, but you guys lose an opportunity to score there. Were you guys hanging your heads? What was the thought?
So going back to the sideline, everyone's just picking each other up. Everyone's going up to Shaq, letting him know it's all right. He knows that he made a mistake, but there's none you can do about it now, so it's in the past. All you got to do is just keep your head up, keep a positive mindset, and then come back and strike in the next drive.
Your thoughts on going up against the Kentucky defense this week?
I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good game for our offense to make a statement that we can score on anybody. So.
Just two quick ones for you. You talked about the depth of your receiving core, and you guys had 8 players this week with at least 1 reception, 6 with 2 or more receptions. So do you think that's one of your biggest assets as a team, the depth you guys have with the receiving core, and how will that help you guys against a team like Kentucky where, you know, there's definitely a different breed of athlete than maybe what you saw this weekend?
Yeah, I think our depth at receiver is an extremely important part to our team because whenever we throw the ball, obviously you never want to be like thinking in the back of your head, is this guy going to catch the ball? So when our first line goes out and our second goes in, I don't think there's anybody that's scared about who's in or like that's I think everyone's really confident in all the receivers we have, and that's something that not a lot of teams have. So I think it's good to have guys that can come in and just make the same amount of plays that the first group's doing. So.
And then I know you guys have had some meetings since the game, had time to kind of reflect, watch some film. What's something as an offense that you guys need to do better in the second half when you have that 10-point lead, that 10-point cushion to kind of maintain that? Is that something where just need to be better execution in terms of clock management, or maybe a little bit more foot on the gas from your guys' perspective?
I think, personally, I think we need a little bit more foot on the gas, like you were saying. I think we need to just keep pounding, never think the game's over. Not that we did, but I think we just need to keep going and just put up as much points as we can for our defense and for the team.
Anything else?
No, we're good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Coach? Questions for Coach?
Coach, do you feel a sense of pride when you start slow like that? You go into the locker room at halftime down, but your team responds the way it does. Does that give you a sense of pride, or is it frustration that you guys didn't start better?
It's both. It was, overall, probably, if I'm honest, I was mostly frustrated. But when you step back and look at it, the response, we're going to have every game that we're going to play is going to be hard. Things are not going to go our way a lot. And so if you have a team that has the ability to fight through those times and those situations and to respond, then that is a really, really, really good thing. So I'm definitely proud of that. I'm not surprised by that at all. But my predominant, feeling after the game was probably more frustrating than it was proud.
Coach, when you went up 10 in the third quarter, you made the decision to go for 2. What was the thought process behind that?
It was a bad decision is what that was. It was misreading the chart.
Okay. Did you talk to Van at all about risk reward, reaching for the goal line late in the first half there, as far as losing the football? Does he have to make a better decision to protect that football down there, or do you want that kind of effort at that point in the game?
Well, it's a really good question. We talked about it as a staff. Mike gets us a first down on a scramble on a third down. And we're glad he did, because if we were short at that point, it would have been in our end, of the field, and probably would have punted, even though it was probably close to the 50. Talked a lot about, hey, fourth down and overtime is a time where you can reach for sticks, but really no other time. But then on the third down, we're glad that Mike got the first down. So don't want to talk out of both sides of your mouth. I think there's also a little bit of an onus on the player just to know when it's safe and wise to do so. If Shaq was all by himself, not all by himself, but had to leap, but there was not going to be getting hit and had a chance to touch the ball in the pylon, then you'd want him to do that. But when he's getting hit, any chance the ball has to come out is not a good thing. So we've talked a lot about it. We haven't had a hard and fast rule about it other than always take care of the ball. But I think the fourth down and then overtime probably is the best guiding principle.
Coach, some of your thoughts going into this Kentucky game. What do you guys need to be better at to be successful in that game?
I think everything. I think I probably always feel this way after a first game. So much buildup. You're so excited to play, and knew we were going to be playing a really good and tough opponent. And I again, just was probably more frustrated than anything. I mean, I think our special teams have a chance to be really good, out-punted our coverage, once that really hurt us. And I just think we can be really strong in the punt game. And our kickoffs got a lot of touchbacks, which was good. Kickoff return didn't take many opportunities on that. But that's part of our philosophy. But it just didn't feel as though that we, dominated the special teams. And I think that I don't know if we can dominate special teams, but I know that we can be really good in that area. Our takeaways versus our turnovers, I mean, it's a minus 10-point swing on our turnover, which was enormous, a huge momentum swing on Clay's interception. So, those two maybe cancel themselves out, but being up +3, you can't ask for anything more than that. I mean, that is just a phenomenal effort. But then, offensively, we had 3 possessions in the first half. And, when you go 3 and out against a team that's driving the ball, it gives you that Army kind of feel, where it's like, God, are we going to get this opportunity or not? And so we didn't have as many plays as we would have liked to in the game. And then defensively, I think we were 6 of 16 on stop downs, and that's well below our goal. So a little frustrated, with that. So, we had a lot of first-time starters, and a lot of people who got some good experience. Was pleased with our conditioning and how we handled the heat. Thought that they dropped out before we did, and then dropped out, more often. So we still had guys cramping and whatnot. So we got to get better in every area.
Your quarterback had a tremendous performance. How much of that is his growth, and how much of that is being surrounded by talented receivers and an offensive line that play well?
Yeah, no, it's always, Mike would be the first to tell you, he can't do anything by himself, period. And he knows that. We had 1 sack. So it's 1 too many, but, it's a start. 0 drops, which is really good. And then, you can say the one to Odukoye, I guess maybe was a drop, but it was a pretty good stick the kid put on him. So very efficient. It was not an explosive pass game. Did not throw for a ton of yards, but he managed the game well, not perfectly, but he managed it well, and he's very accurate. Just like Dylan said, he throws a great ball. He's got a high football IQ, and he's a winner. So he's got a chance to have a really special year.
Defensively, you got to be so proud of this unit, as we talked about the 4 takeaways there. And it wasn't just one guy. They really played. They seemed to play as an 11, as one.
Yeah, Coach Nether has been talking about just effort and running to the football. And every year that we've been here, he has raised the percentage, the standard by which we rate the guys in terms of running the ball and effort and hustle. And our goal this year is 97%. It was 96% last year. And we got 96% this game, so fell short of that. But if we're a defense that continues to run to the football, be assignment sound, communicate well, and do things fundamentally at a high level, then we got a chance to be a good defense.
Coach, 2 straight opening games now, if you look back to 2018 and 2019, where your quarterback has set a record for the best completions percentage in the modern statistical era. So last year with Uyghurs, this year with Glass, how much of that is attributed to having a veteran guy in the pocket, and how much is that attributed to kind of what Tom said, the rest of the team, but also Aaron, too, putting together a game plan that is really effective and efficient?
Yeah, so in terms of, last year, Tyler Uyghurs was his first game with us, so I don't know if he had years under his belt and whatnot, but he was really good at taking what people give him. And so, that's often a reason for a high completion percentage, is willingness to take what people give you, not get greedy, not to get locked in on one route or one person. And I'm glad you pointed out, Coach Keene does a great job with the quarterbacks. He does a great job coaching quarterbacks, and had him prepared well both years. And so, I think our passing game is something that can continue to improve, and I think it will. I think we have a chance to be pretty effective in our passing game.
Something that I noticed this year in the opening game was Mike very poised in the pocket. It seemed like you really read through progressions very well and stayed put, didn't look to run first, but did when he needed to get himself a little bit more space and make that throw downfield. How impressed were you with his ability to kind of stay focused in the pocket and make those reads, but also with your offensive line who really needed to prove that they're a veteran group that's ready to play, and certainly did that?
Yeah, so Mike's never looked, to run first. So I don't think that anything was different with that. And then, he's good with his feet, with making people miss, and he, executed that first down on the scramble. It was a big play in the game for us. So he's been effective with that. I think he'll continue to be. He's got just a good football IQ and a good instinct with that. Our offensive line, got some new starters in there. We feel as though that we're deeper than our first five. But again, we didn't have as many plays in the game as we would have liked in terms of getting more people, more reps and whatnot. But it was a good start. I mean, it was far from perfect. We did not have a whole lot of offense. And again, when you have 3 possessions in the first half and one of those is a 3 and out, you really limit yourself. But, we're frustrated overall in a lot of ways, proud. We knew it was a good football team that we're going to play. So excited about how we responded and got it together. But we got a lot of work to do. But like talking to the guys in the locker room, we're not pulling teeth. I mean, everybody wants to get better. And our football team has a pretty good sense of ourselves. We know that we're capable of doing really good things, but we're not there yet. So it's a very workmanlike mentality and a fun group to be around.
Shifting sides to the defensive side of the ball, your defensive unit has now held opponents scoreless in the third quarter in 8 out of your last 14 games. How important is it for you guys to have such good halftime adjustments in terms of being able to kind of put the finishing touches on a win like you did this week to hold opponents scoreless for a whole quarter in the majority of your last 14 games?
Yeah, I mean, so, coaching it's so multifaceted. You have 8 months to prepare for a game. You really, you have an idea of what you're going to see, but you don't know. You just don't know, especially with staff changes and whatnot. And so game time adjustments are always important. In a first game like that, I mean, they're absolutely critical. And I think our staff does a really good job of, like, Kobie said, taking notes, assigning responsibilities to people, and everybody staying in their lane, doing their job, and collecting that information, and then making good decisions and communicating it to our team, and then for those guys to be able to execute it. But critically important. We'll have to do it again this week for sure.
In your last 20 wins, you've won the turnover battle 16 times, tied it twice, only lost the battle twice. Has that been the single biggest change over the last couple of years in the on-field success of your team, winning that turnover battle week in, week out in your wins?
It's not the single, biggest factor. I don't think. I think there's so many things that go into it. However, I will tell you, other than the final score, I believe that the turnover takeaway ratio is the absolute, critical factor. Everybody knows that. So that's, telling our guys that doesn't, give us a leg up on anybody. It's the ability for the team to be ball aware within, the battle of the game. It's not a turnover takeaway drill in practice. It's not putting statistics up on the board, but when someone's carrying the ball, do they treat it as if it's precious and that all 11 guys on the defense want to take it away? So do they protect it and they're ball aware the entire time? And then defensively, are you not just aligning, correctly and running your assignment, but are you aware of the ball? Are you trying to disrupt the ball? Are you trying to take the ball away? Being conscious of that. And that's the chance, I think a team has to take it to another level. And we certainly want to be, one of the teams that gets everything we can out of that.
Last one for me, certainly a lot to improve on from last week. You've talked about that throughout the press conference today. but 2 wins over the Power 5 in the last 2 years, obviously now heading down to Kentucky. When you have your team meeting on Sunday night after a win over North Carolina, is the expectation heading to this week now business as usual, expect to compete, but expect to win as well? What's the kind of the mood around the locker room in terms of seeing a team like Kentucky? Is it not as quite as intimidated as maybe some may have been in the past, or what's the general feel?
Well, we haven't been with the guys since we've begun on Kentucky. This is their day off, and you know what we did last night was just wrap up Coastal Carolina. So I don't know how they could possibly be more excited this week than they were last week after waiting, 8 or 9 months to play football. But we realize that we're the underdogs. We realize that, I don't know what their final ranking was last year, but it was in the top 10 or close to it. And then, as a staff, we put on the tape, and it's well-deserved. They look like an SEC football team, and they play like one. What everybody perceives an SEC football team to look like and play like, they're really good. They are big and long and athletic. And, no, I've been watching, mostly their defense at this point, and the 53 1/3 yards, the width of the field, there's not a lot of space. There's just they cover ground and are very well coached. So our guys know that they're really good, and we're definitely not going to be backing down to them at all. We believe in ourselves. I do think that the focus is going to be more inward. I think the more that happens week in and week out, the better off we'll be. We got to become better at who we are and what we do, and then we got to apply that to whoever we're playing. And so that's our game plan is certainly matters. But we came away from the game frustrated, and we've got to get better.